had a few questions about how we pick up this food waste from the supermarket and what we do with it. So I thought I'd take you along today and show you just what we do. But we have the trailer on. Let's see if I can. And we take wheelie bins with us and we basically swap them over twice weekly. And so I think we got 6 on there today because we do a bigger pickup on the weekends than midweek. And we are going to go see what they have for us. So we're just about here. We're in town and we're going to go to the loading dock and drop our bins off and pick the other ones up. So this is everything we got from the supermarket and we're just going to go take it over to the animals and feed it out and compost the rest. Here's the first tray of veg. The only thing we struggle with the fruit and veg that we pick up is the amount of plastic. We don't actually have much rubbish, but we generate a lot of rubbish. Because things are still in plastic, there's elastic bands, bread tags, which we do donate when we can. But all this fruit the pigs love, so that's going to go to the piglet now. Wait, they're my toes. We also get a heap of bread, and this goes to the pigs as well. So the pigs get bread as well. Usually we only get bread on weekends, but the food bank didn't pick it up during the week, so we picked it up yesterday. If we didn't have the food waste, we would only be taking our bin out once every other month. But because we do pick up the food waste from the supermarket, we take the bin out every single week. But to be honest, all that rubbish would have gone to the dump anyway, except it would have had food in it. And that is one of the leading causes of greenhouse gases. It's not composting your food. Didn't have enough bins to fill up this round, so they gave us these boxes as well full of produce. We use them on pathways and we cover it with wood chips because they're the waxed boxes. They're really good for keeping the weeds down. And all this will go to the pigs as well.
pigs!
So this is the pigs' run. It was full of blackberries. As you can see, they've grown up and over. They shouldn't be growing up there. It was all overrun when we bought the property, but we've put the pigs in here and they've been digging, as you can see, and they've been eating the roots of the blackberries. So hopefully killing and eradicating the blackberries, because they are a pest out here. We're thinking of using goats alongside pigs next time. Pig, pig, pig!
Pig, pig, pig!
Down at the dam, so we can get rid of blackberries without any nasty chemicals.
Pig, pig, pig!
So this is Rosie.
Pig,
Rosie's
pig, pig!
mama pig.
Pig, pig, pig!
So yeah, we'll probably run an electric fence down around the dams, down where it's really thick with blackberries. And then we'll put the goats in there first. Oh, there's a bit of plastic. Put the goats in there first so they can browse the tops of the blackberries, and then we'll bring in the pigs afterwards and they can eat the roots of the blackberries. So why people buy cut apples with the skin on in bags, that is ridiculous. If you do this, you need to stop, okay? This is not okay. This is disgusting. This is why our bin gets full.
So stop giving you plastic bags just to package stuff in more plastic bags.
How hard is it to cut an apple up?
Like that, Pig, pig, pig!
Yeah, the guys are still too busy eating bread. So the rest have come out and followed. And look at the blackberry root here. It's been snapped off from the vine, which is absolutely fantastic. If you get the roots, the blackberries won't come back because they do grow from suckers. The thing about this area is the shade that it's throwing, because these white pigs can get burnt. Some more boxes. These ones are going straight into the compost. The compost always gets layered with hay, some brown matter, and then we build it up with this green matter. It's very windy today, so it's making the job a little bit harder. But this is an old pile. It's been resting for a few months now, and at the end of summer we'll be putting this on the garden beds once we pull out all the crops. You can see it's not quite ready because we've got a potato growing there on the side, so it hasn't fully broken down. And we also throw a lot of the potatoes here because we don't want to introduce disease, and we don't want potatoes growing all through our veggie patch. So we just throw the potatoes there, and sometimes they grow and we can harvest some potatoes and not really infect anywhere. So it's a good little spot there. And these are our worm farms. I think we'll open these up today and give you a look inside. We built these compost bays as a bit of a retaining wall on the side of this embankment here, because there was quite a steep embankment. We wanted to not just hold it back, but we wanted a flat surface to empty the bins, because we do this a couple of times a week. We wanted to make it easier on ourselves because it was taking up a lot of time, and now we can just tip the bins over like that, tip it in. We mainly sort through it. We give the fruit to the pigs, so that's an easy way to do it. We can usually stand by it like Paul is now and flick it in and pick out what the pigs want to eat. And then we just layer it up, and then layer some more browns on. It's basically like a big lasagna. And then the chickens come in here too. They'll come in, they'll scratch through it, eat what they want. We don't feed them anything at the moment. We don't feed them any grains. We still have great egg production. It's usually the beginning of spring it kind of tapers off. We had issues this year where they were eating their eggs. But they'll just come in here and scratch through it, eat what they want, fertilize it, and yeah, it works really, really well. We're getting a couple of dozen eggs a day and we're not feeding the chickens anything. I have eaten from the bins before. A lot of the time the produce is really, really good still. It's just that they can't be displayed on shelf for an excessive amount of time. They need to kind of move it off and put something fresh on because it's a supermarket. And especially in the cooler months, we would happily eat from there because it doesn't really ferment and it comes from the cool room anyway, so it's all cool and cold and fresh, and then if we can get through it straight away, we'd usually pick out what we want. But it's a really hot day today and we didn't get to it straight away, so we're just putting it all in the compost. The animals will eat what they can, and then we'll compost the rest. We're also eating from the garden much more. That was why we did the challenge, because we wanted to eat homegrown organic produce and not be eating conventional food that hasn't been grown the way that we would like food to be grown. So big decision for us to go on this challenge was to stop eating food like this. Even though it is healthy food, it isn't fresh picked, organic and all that sort of stuff. So we were picking through a bit of fruit because we can't grow enough fruit for us at the moment. But at the moment, being the peak of summer, we're getting a decent amount of berries every day and a heap of veggies from the garden. We don't need to be supplementing from the bins. And I don't really want to. I don't really want to be eating this food. So this is just the last resort. If we don't have anything that I can make a meal from and it's good, we can use it from here. You can see the chooks love it in here. We sometimes delay them coming out because it can be a little bit hard to work around them. They can get in the way, but they love it. Some more plastic. I cut this celery in half and wrapped it up. Lots of elastic bands. We recycle these. And a lot of greens and added lettuces and cabbages and cauli, so that's great. We can recycle those. And a heap of watermelons at this time of year. The pigs love watermelons and all the melons, so there you go to them. A few gets chucked into the chicken pile, they eat it too, but they get really messy. And as you can see, look, this is the issue we have. Chicken's getting in the way. Probably put a layer of brown after this bin. So we pick up this amount of waste from one store twice weekly. It's a lot. It's a lot, and this would just get chucked in the bin, go to the tip if we didn't do it. So it's really awesome that we can make the most of this resource. We feed our pigs and chickens for free majority of the year. Sometimes we add in grains depending on how they're going. So this is hay that we cut on our paddocks, so we know it's all organic as well. Not that the fruit and veg is organic, but the hay is, so that's good. And we just layer it up and make lovely, lovely compost. Now this is all recycled materials that it's been made out of. Recycled pellets from our local food co-op. Got to make sure they have no chemicals on them. There are some that get treated. Recycled corrugated iron. This is a damaged fence that just held the compost and all the greens at bay, because if we didn't do that, they all spilt out the front. So this is how much it's sunk, and this is also what it's turning into. A beautiful rich soil. So there's a bit of bread in there today, So we'll give that all to the pigs. And this will sink right down. It looks like it's really full at the moment, but you'll be surprised at how much this actually sinks down, and you're not left with much. The bin next door kept sinking and sinking, and then we thought it was full. And now that we've let it sit, it's sunk even more. So that's pretty cool. But we love doing this. Love being able to recycle, love being able to feed our soil. Love being able to feed our animals for free as well. It's just an amazing thing that we can do. This is the last bin to go in today. More plastic. Seriously, why can't people cut up cauliflower and broccoli? That was a punnet of cauliflower and broccoli florets. That is really, really sad. Is there any more? It's not hard to cut up broccoli and cauliflower into little bite-sized pieces. You get all this leachate from the compost. So this is the downside, the leachate. It gets really gross here from that, especially on hot days. But we've directed it to go down here and to feed this kind of paddock area. Excuse the rubbish there, we're cleaning out the sheds, and this is all the stuff the previous owners left behind. Still haven't gone to the tip, but this leachate will nourish this paddock, and because we're on such a slope, when it rains it will wash it down and hopefully feed all the soil. So we get a lot of these nets as well that the lemons come in. They're a real pain in the butt. Some of the greens as well, we give them the lettuce and they love it, especially when the paddocks are dry. There's plenty of standing hay out there, but they prefer the greens, so they get a bit of greens. Susie especially will go into the compost pile and eat what she wants. This is why we don't put any bread out, because we have lost a couple of sheep to acidosis because they broke into the bread. But the greens, they're perfectly fine. There's hardly any fruit in there because we give it to the pigs. Too much fruit can make them a little bit bloaty, but everything in here they're able to eat. There's no plastic in there that will get tangled in their belly, so yeah, we let them when they're in this area. So Susie's munching away on some cabbage or cauliflower leaves. We've got Lulu over there looking at the greens, at the lettuce leaves, and so we'll just chuck out a pile and they can help themselves, and then they'll come in here with Susie once they're ready for some more. We can feed the cauliflower leaves out to the cattle as well, but like I said, we've got a lot of grass this time of year. This is really awesome. We've got a lot of feed for them, so we don't need to worry about it, but if we ever did run out of feed, we've got the cauliflower leaves and the lettuce. They're always in there every time we pick up the bins. There's always an abundance, so there's enough for a meal. This is one of our 1,000-litre IBCs that we've converted into a worm farm. Some brown matter on top, and then tip in some greens or some watermelon or some pumpkin, whatever we've got, and they munch it away and create beautiful castings for us. So this works really well for the amount of waste that we have, and we've got 3 of these. And we basically just use the worm wee to fertilise as a liquid fertiliser, and then eventually we can gather the castings as well and make soil blocks with them. So getting some of the worm wee out. I can use this on the veggie patch. This is how we recycle all the waste that we get twice a week. I hope you enjoyed this video, guys, and we will see you guys tomorrow. I'll be doing episode 2 of a day in the life of a self-sufficient homesteader. So I look forward to seeing you then.